I think feminism is a bunch of garbage. I think
today's video will show you that not all women agree with the feminist ideology. That's why.
The headline is, "It's time for women to reject feminism and kiss Peter Pan goodbye."
Yes, it is.
In an attempt to explain why a generation of women born in the 1960s and 70s are finding themselves living lives of solitude, a male friend emailed me all the single ladies, thinking I'd buy into the writer's load of crap. Strong. 39-year-old single woman spends an endless amount of ink trying to convince herself and single women everywhere that they are happy living empowered lives of solitude, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
What fired you up over this one?
I think I'm trying to remember what article that was, Atlantic Monthly or something like that, but that I wrote about. But what the article I was referencing, what fired me up is that we do have a lot of women, I would say late 30s, 40s, who were highly educated. Some people would say overly educated, and we're single. You know, we're coming up short on the man department.
And she is absolutely correct. Now, one of the main problems is a lot of women were told to go to school, get highly educated, or become successful. That would automatically make them high-value women. But what they failed to understand was what a woman looks for in a man is completely different than what a man looks for in a woman. And a lot of them are now starting to realize that they have been lied to about a womanist movement. Now, a lot of these women are getting pissed. Now, when you add to the fact that we have what we call hypergamy, now, a woman who makes a certain amount of money is most of the time going to want to be with someone who makes a lot more than she is. Now, if a guy doesn't make as much as she makes or even more, now the woman is not going to look at this guy as a good catch, although the guy may be a good catch. They keep telling themselves that getting with a guy who makes less money than themselves will be settling, or whatever that means. Now, if you watch the Kevin Samuels show,
most people get average people, especially average people.
You see how delusional women have become.
And I think that when I think back in my mother's generation, it was while they had fewer choices as far as careers go, you know, most of them, majority of them, if they wanted to be married, they were married, they had families. And I think with our generation, they wanted us to so much take advantage of the opportunities before us, they forgot to go back to basics and say, you know what, it's what I told you earlier, Brian. It's okay. Marriage is okay. It's actually a fun thing. And I think what bothers me with feminism is that you can do it all. You know, you can have a baby without a man. You can bring home the bacon. You can cook it up in the pan. And the fact is, you just can't. Women can't have it all. Women can't have it all.
Once again, she is right on the money. They cannot have it all. No.
I don't think you can be a CEO of any company and have it all as a woman. You can't have a family and be a good mom at the same time.
A lot of those women have their femininity snatched right out of them. Heck, they don't know how to be feminine anymore. They were not thought to be wives. They spend so much time focusing on their career that they forgot the part where they needed to be feminine. Most guys want to be with a feminine woman, especially in a marriage. You can have some fun with these women, but it's mostly going to be short term.
I want to read this line just for the audience's sake. While some women may generally want to live alone, I believe that most women, including the author, meaning you, don't want to live in solitude or be an independent woman.
Yeah, I believe that. I think if you put women in a confessional situation, even if they don't necessarily believe in God, but whoever their uber power is that they put their confidence in and their life, so to speak. If you were to ask a woman, do you really want to be alone? And I'm talking more of, I don't want to get into whether you're heterosexual or whatever. I think most women want to be with someone.
With the feminist movement telling women that he can do everything a man can do, as well as some older and very unhappy single women, telling these younger women or even shaming these women for wanting to have a family at a young age. Now, what ends up happening is a lot of these young women, they waste their prime years having fun, going out, partying, instead of looking for men to get married or have babies with. So basically, they were sold a bad dream by the feminist movement. And by the time they realized that,
But women like you die alone.
it's already too late. Most men have already moved on and are no longer interested in them.
This I'd like to have you explain. You write, during my senior year of college at Georgetown University, I was forced to take a feminist criticism seminar as part of my honors English major and hated it.
Yeah, I did hate it.
Why?
Because all we read for the semester was criticism and critiques about how Shakespeare was a misogynist, D.H. Lawrence was a misogynist. I think Ibsen was thrown in there. All the classics were somehow bad men in the way they portrayed women.
Yeah, that's all propaganda.
And I remember being in the discussion as we were trying to deconstruct the classics. I still
By the
don't.
way, did you have to take this course?
Yes, I had to take it because
At
if I
Georgetown,
wanted, yes,
Catholic University?
oh yeah, if I wanted to be an honors graduate with honors English major, I had to take it. There was 2 seminars they offered, one in the fall and one in the spring. So we sat around, and I remember looking at the professor, and I said, you know, I'm sorry, I just don't think Shakespeare was trying to, you know, throw gasoline on women. He gave women voices. Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Juliet. And so at the end of the class, what really bothered me, and we had to read a lot of criticism written by lesbian writers, and I was like, why do we have to keep reading all this stuff by lesbian women? You know, I mean, that's a redundant statement, but lesbian writers, you know, all this criticism. I just don't get it. So at the end of the class, the professor tells us, by the way, I just want to tell you all I'm gay, and I just wanted you to know that.
As well as most feminists, and that explains why.
So I'm thinking to myself, why is she telling us at the end of the class? And it might have been nice to know that at the beginning of the seminar, because then I would have known why she was shoving all this, you know, lesbian criticism down our throats. I mean, it was really, you know, and I know we all are subjective individuals, and we come from a subjective place about where we were raised and who we are, but my parents were paying good money for me to go to Georgetown University, and I had to take a class which I felt was very slanted and biased. And I think feminism is a bunch of garbage.
On the bright side, more cats and dogs will be adopted by these single ladies.
I think it's written to brainwash women into believing they can do it all on their own, and the big bad world is out there to hate them. Well, the world doesn't, you know, not all men hate women.
All right.
So
we're almost out of time, but the final.
That's it for this video, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.